I'm Charnel Williams, and I'm the owner of a local cleaning service in Atlanta, Georgia. I also help others grow and scale their companies. But today, I'm going to be sharing my experience as a customer. It's story time. So I apologize in advance if I get a little animated, because that's definitely possible. But I want to share what to do and what not to do to be successful. So we're in the process of selling my mother's home. I've been the day to day person, I've been the contact person for everything that's going on. So we hired a contractor to renovate some things so it can look good, presentable to put on the market. So we met with three different contractors. The one I'm going to talk about, the one we settled on. So this guy was very, very talkative. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but one thing you want to do is you want to read the room. You want to match the energy of your customer. It was a lot of things he was saying I just didn't care about. I'm more, okay, get to the point. What are we doing? What can you do? What can't we do? What suggestions do you have? I don't want to hear all the other fluff. Like it doesn't move me. So you'll come in contact with some customers that will sit there and want that dialogue. I'm not one of those. Like, get to the point. Tell me what you're going to do. Tell me what I can expect. Tell me the price. Like, just get, because I got things to do. So that was one thing I even said to the realtor. I was like, yeah, he talks too much for me. Like, just like get to the point. I don't need to know like some of the other foolishness he was talking about. Um, but you want to be thorough, right? You want to walk. I wanted him to walk me through each room and say, okay, this is what we can do. This is what I suggest. Based off of my experience, we find that X, Y, and Z. That's what needed to be done. I didn't need like, oh, well, how old is this house? Or they don't make these like this. I don't need all of that, right? Just get to the point. And answer my questions, right? If I ask you, what type of countertop do you suggest? I just want you to tell me the type of countertop. I don't want you to tell me the type of countertop you got at your house. I don't want to hear about which countertop is cheaper. What do you suggest based off of what I'm envisioning, what I'm telling you I want, what I want based off of the results, right? I don't need all the extra stuff. So that was another thing. He was on time, so that's good. I do not like when people don't respect my time. So I'm a stickler for time, be on time, I'm there. I don't want to wait for you to like I'm I'm in Atlanta. Let me just preface by saying that. And the traffic here is horrible. Horrible. I know that, and anyone else, people who don't even live here know that. So knowing that means you need to leave early, which means, okay, if you have other appointments, you need to schedule your appointments to ensure that you're going to be at your other appointment on time, right? This is a first impression. He took a lot of notes, he took a lot of pictures, which was good. So he can assess it correctly and he can give me an accurate quote. At least that's what I thought. That's what I expected. That's what should have happened, in my opinion. Um, he does work with a third party, someone else. I still haven't met this guy, um, but I have spoken to him maybe two or three times, and every time I speak to him, it's so confusing. He's saying something completely opposite. He's trying to tack on different charges and services, and I'm like, dude, that's not what we signed. That's not what we agreed upon. I don't even know what you're talking about. Why are you even calling me, right? You need to contact the realtor and me and her talk, and she will get everything in order, right? That's the order of operations of how it is supposed to go. So that was a little off-putting. Um, they weren't on the same page. So it's like, well, we told him this and he told us that. Now you're telling me something completely different. Um, Another thing they did that I didn't like was they did extra work. And they did this extra work thinking they were doing me a favor. So, for example, um, the steps to go like outside, they put new steps there. I didn't ask them to do that. It's not in the paperwork. It's not in what we agreed. It wasn't part of the estimate. Nothing. I didn't even say anything to him about these steps. Um, he was supposed to do, it's like a flat deck, not like a raised deck, but like a little flat area where you could put maybe like a grill or some patio chairs or something. So he was supposed to do that over. Now, what I think happened is he got planks for the deck and didn't have enough planks. So he took the planks and made steps with it. Okay, that's what you want to do, fine, but that's not what I agreed to. I'm not paying extra for it. Like, do what I asked you to do, please. Like that's all I wanted, right? And when you are dealing with a client, you have to have a meeting of the minds. You have to be on the same page. Everyone has to be on the same page. That's why you document it, right? That's why you write out an estimate saying, okay, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to cost this amount, where it should be done by this particular date. Not to mention that this project was supposed to be done a week ago today. Still not done. Still not done. So that's frustrating as the consumer. Um, Also, um, we because of certain things, he had to do the work over. So, for example, one of the areas was the bathroom. We wanted to change out the vanity, and as a result, the vanity, because it's an older home, it was built in like the 80s, and the vanity is big, and he's like, oh, well, we can't find a vanity that's that size. And I realized this morning when I was looking at the vanity in my bathroom, I'm like, it's about the same size as mine. It's long, but it has, the option where you could put like a little bench there. That's why it's long. Like you have the sink and then you have this extra space to the right where you can sit down, do makeup or whatever. Um, so I'm like, you could have found that, but maybe you couldn't, right? But I hired him because I was led to believe like this is your expertise, you're familiar with this, you know what to do, you know what not to do. I can make sure the house is clean. That's my expertise, right? I don't know how to install a vanity. I don't know how to build a deck. I don't know how to put flooring down. I don't know how to change the electricals. Like all these different things, I didn't know. That's why I hired a expertise, not an expertise, an expert to do that. Um, and because they were doing extra things, right? So they one of the things that they did was they put new flooring in the primary bedroom. Now, the primary bedroom didn't need flooring because we got flooring done maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So it's new hardwoods in there that we paid a professional to do. He put whole new flooring in there. And I'm like, why? So the planks that we had in there are now just sitting on the back porch in the little sunroom area. And I'm like, why did you pull this up? Now you're incurring more costs, right? Because you had to pay for these new planks of flooring, whatever they call it, to put in this primary bedroom. Like what was the point? And I didn't know that happened until I walked in and saw it one day. So it wasn't approved by any of us. It just didn't make sense. So that was another cost. He incurred, that I just it didn't I don't know, it just didn't make sense. And then last night I was just so annoyed because it's almost 9 p.m. and he calls me. He sends me this long text message, and I'm like, dude, first of all, if you know me, 8 o'clock, I'm in the bed. My bonnet's on, my pajamas on. I am settling down. I'll play a few games on my phone. I'll watch TV before going to bed because I get up early. I get up like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 3. I don't, I'm not staying up late. So why are you contacting me after hours? Like, you need to contact me during business hours. I would never call a client at 9 o'clock at night to convince them to pay for something. Let me just say the purpose of the call. We have a few things left in the home. So we have 2 dressers, 2 nightstands, a few little things that just need to be trashed out. We have some things outside that need to be trashed out. Um, and I said, okay. I asked him yesterday because I went up there yesterday to the home, and that was another thing. I'll get to that too because that was frustrating as well. But I said, okay, can you and your guys um, get a dumpster? I'll get a dumpster. Can you supply the labor to just throw this stuff out? So he's like, yeah, we could do that. I'm like, great, because I was just going to go get a dumpster and get some laborers to throw the stuff out. But I'm like, since you're here and you have guys, y'all do it. So his partner, I'm assuming it's his business partner, contacts me. He's like, well, um, I found the dumpster. It's going to be $600 for a 30-yard dumpster. And um, I said, no, 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 no. The last person I used, I paid like 300 something dollars. Like, we'll just use him. So he said, okay, great. How long did you have the dumpster? I said, for 3 days. He said, oh, well, we need it for 2 weeks. And I said, what do you, why do I need to get a dumpster for 2 weeks when the stuff that I have left in the home can be thrown out and disposed of within an hour? Well, in a day. Um, like, why do we need 2 weeks? So he said, well, we're going to do the roof and we can throw the stuff out from the roof into the dumpster. And I said, hold on. I said, that's a separate service. I'm not paying for the dumpster for you to do the roof. Like, that's an expense you incur to do your job. When we clean someone's house, we don't say, okay, it's going to be $500 to clean your house, and we're going to clean and leave our mess and leave it there for the client to clean up. No, I have to factor in that I'm paying my staff enough money to take out the trash. So it was that was frustrating too, because I said, okay, now that you've incurred these extra expenses, like the floor, like the steps, they didn't build the deck. They just put gravel out there. So that was another thing, right? My realtor came and she saw some young boys there at the property, and they were just standing there. She said, okay, well, what are you supposed to be doing? And he said, well, we're just waiting for the guy to come back because we've ran out of gravel to put out in the back. So the lack of preparation costs money. So you want to make sure that every second, every minute counts in your business. My staff wears aprons. They wear aprons while they're cleaning so that they can have certain tools and supplies and equipment on their body, on their person, so that they don't have to go back and forth. Because if they're cleaning a bathroom and they need glass cleaner. I don't want them to run to the kitchen to get the glass cleaner. I want that glass cleaner to be on a hook on their person so they can just spray, 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 clean the glass and keep it moving. Every time you're going back and forth, those seconds add up and that cuts into your time. So for them to the lack of preparation, right? Like if you want to pay people to sit there and do nothing, that is up to you, but it's not wise. It's not smart, right? Because now you want me to incur this cost. Now you want me, the customer, and that's not fair to the customer. So you want to make sure that you're constantly being prepared, right? I would come to the house sometimes and it would be, you know, I shouldn't say a random guy, but it would be someone there and I get there one time and he's doing the bathroom. So they pulled up the vanity and under the vanity it was wood. It wasn't like the tile floors, which makes sense. Like I figured that most vanities don't have the tiles under it directly. They have it around it for aesthetics. Um, so the towel is like it's a white towel, and the grout is like maybe a grayish beige color. And this guy is putting down new grout to cover the open area from the vanity because the vanity they got was smaller. So the grout he's putting on is black. So it's white towel with black grouts, but the rest of the grout in the bathroom is that grayish beige color. So I'm like, why? I don't get it, right? So when he came and saw it, he told the guy, "Oh, this is wrong." He had to pull it all up, fired the guy, and I'm like, he wasn't supervised. That tells me he wasn't supervised and he wasn't instructed on what to do. He made an uh, educated guess for all intensive purpose on what he should do. He didn't think that, okay, if the grout is already beige, then maybe I shouldn't put black grout in this one area. But he wasn't told. You can't assume that your staff is going to know this makes sense and this is what you should do. Things don't always make sense to people, right? We don't know what that looks like to everyone. So he had to um, pull that up and do it over, hire somebody else. And I know that costs money. So now you're, because of lack of preparation and a lack of instruction. So you want to make sure you're instructing your teams on what to do. You have to set realistic expectations for the client and you have to set realistic expectations for your staff. You need to check on them. Hey, let me see how it goes. Even if you can't be there, it's 2026. Let's FaceTime, take a picture, something, so I can see the progression of it. That wasn't happening, and his work showed. Um, and then so now the conversation is, well, he sent me this long text message and was like, well, we went through all these hoops for you all. We put these new steps there. You got the new floor. The vanity was too small. And I'm like, that is not a Charnel problem, right? You were there. You did the measurements. I did not ask you to build put these steps there. The steps are fine. Like they weren't like they're the step, they did a great job with the steps, but I didn't ask for it. It wasn't something that I wanted. It's not something that was important to me. And then I keep getting emails and text messages about, okay, the job is done. We need you to go and approve it. And I went out there maybe 2 or 3 times this week. And today is Tuesday, right? To approve something and the work is not done. So now I'm annoyed because now I have to take time to go sit there and wait. And I have to hear this, oh, well, this is supposed to happen and that is supposed to happen. And they don't know. And then I listen, I can how much time I got? Because I can go on and on about this. But another thing was the paint. We had the entire house, the interior painted over. Some of the paint is bleeding. Now, I'm not an expert by any means, but I know you have to prime the walls before you put paint on it. So I asked him, I said, did you prime the walls? Because now the walls are supposed to be like this whitish shade of white color. But now you can see it bleeding. It's like looks yellowish, right? It looks like a granite color because you can see the white and then you can see how it's starting to fade to the or change to the yellow. And I'm like, dude, did y'all prime it? And he's like, yeah, we primed it. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, I don't know why this would happen. He was like, well, we normally use Behr paint, but the realtor wanted to use Sherwin-Williams. And I said, okay, well, Sherwin-Williams isn't a bad brand. It's not like we got this paint from the dollar store. Like, this is legit good paint. So I was there. The realtor came in later and she asked him the same thing when she was talking about the walls. And he said, yeah, I think he primed it. And I'm like, you don't even know. You don't know what your team is doing. You're just sending people out. And I think, based off of my experience, what it was is okay, he got the project and just started hiring people who said they know how to do things without giving clear instructions to the workers. You want to make sure you're always doing that. Your staff needs to know. It needs to be clear. This is what I want you to do. This is the paint. This is the whatever whatever needs to be done. You need to have clear and concise instructions. So now they have to do the paint over, which means they have to spend more money buying paint. And he's like, well, the paint has primer in it. Well, sir, it's 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 not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So it's the excuses too, right? I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm just going to talk to you about the results. I'm looking at a wall that was white a few days ago, but now that it, I guess, dried or whatever the process is, now it's starting to change colors. And that's because it wasn't done properly. So make sure you first of all, know what you're doing, understand the process, right? If I decide, okay, I want to add a painting service to my business, which would be great, right? Because we're already in clients' homes and properties and we do the turnkey services, all of the things, but I still need to learn about the process. I need to know what I'm selling. I need to know what the expectations are, and I need to know how to hold my people accountable. If they're winging it and I'm winging it, it's a recipe for failure. Um, so I think another thing that happened, I think he just underbid because he wanted to get the business. And I understand that a little bit. I'd rather you overbid and make sure the client is happy than underbid, because when you underbid, you still have to do the job. If you underbid and don't do a good job, that's your reputation. The customer's upset. Now you're spending more money. It's not worth it. It's not worth underbidding to get a job only for it not to work out the way it's supposed to. You it don't do it. And I know a lot of people do that in the beginning, and some still just keep on doing it. And it may be because maybe he didn't think he underbid it in the beginning. Maybe he just didn't know how to bid the project. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I know he underbid. So you want to make sure you understand what your expenses are, right? So you're not calling the customer like they're calling me saying, hey, I need you to pay for the dumpster to clean up my mess. No, that's not on the customer. I'm not responsible for getting a dumpster so you can put the sheetrock and the ceiling fans and light fixtures and everything else you tore down into a dumpster. Like, that's part of your cost, right? I have to incur in my costs. Okay, what are my expenses? My taxes, my labor costs, my supplies, my equipment, my profits. I have to make sure whatever I quote my customer, all that is included. He did not do that. Well, my assumption is he didn't do that because now it's okay. Well, I need you to pay for this, and I need you to pay for that, and I'm like, that's not standard practice. Um, so this has been an interesting experience. I'm still going through it. It's supposed to be done today, and I told my realtor I'm not coming back out here to look at work that hasn't been finished. Call me when it's done because I want to come in and see the finished work. And if there's a few things that need to be tweaked, okay, we'll tweak it. I said, but I need you to lay eyes on it. I need you to um, make whatever corrections because you know what my expectations are. And now you can reiterate that to the contractor. So um, you want to make sure that you are fully prepared. It's easier to overbid and have the necessary tools and things. I mean, even if you want to say, you know what, Miss Charnel, we bid 10,000, but I was able to get it done for 8,000. You know, you get a $2,000 discount. I'd rather that than say, Charnel, we bid 10,000, but it's really gonna be 15. Like, you're going to get two different types of responses from the customer. One, the second option, when you overbid and you can give the customer a discount, oh, I'm going to refer my friends. Oh, the realtor who's going to run into more opportunities like this can say, okay, I know a company that's real good. They do real good work and they finished on time. They exceeded our expectations. They went under budget. So we can use this money to do other things in the home, or you could just keep it in your pocket. So you want to make sure, I say all this to say, you want to make sure that you are doing your business, uh, you're representing it correctly. We don't want to disservice our business because we want to get this money or get this account, right? Because yeah, he bidded on it, he got the project, but now he's not making any money because now he didn't set it up right, right? It wasn't priced right. It didn't have the right people in place. He didn't um supervise it properly. So I just wanted to say, just make sure that you're aware of these things and you do right by your customers, you do right by your staff, so you can make money because you can make money, but you have to be strategic with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, DM me, all of the things. I'm here. I just want us to be successful and I just want us to do better in business.